welcome to another little podcast with me, looking at Slothful and Little Lavender here. We are going to be going into some crafting today. Look at some crafty business. My channel, good. We are good to go. Right, so let us begin. Pamika's gaze is fixed upon you. A very warm welcome to you, artisan from afar. Elita, was it? You stand before Epicities by Pamika, and I am Pamika herself. Charmed though I am by your interest in my shop, I would like to confirm one matter. To rally script, I doubt it. Meaning you can read Eorzean script. Then you shall have little trouble here. Turali borrows Eorzean alphabet, and you will find our languages share numerous similarities. We of Tulial speak Turali with aplomb. Yet it is a comparatively young language, as our traditional tongues place emphasis on oral storytelling over the written word. We have a sizable population of citizens who do not read or write. My services cater primarily to this clientele. I offer a writing hand when occasion demands, mostly for penning letters or official documents. However, I have just recently received a commission for something larger. A book of stories. These are tales which have never before been committed to text, a documentation of oral storytelling, a most riveting prospect, is it not? Alas, I find myself ill-prepared. While I possess paper required for simpler documents, I have no experience in binding tomes. Yet with the skill of an adept weaver at hand, I could accept the task with my head held high. What say you, traveller? Will you help me tie these tales together? Fear not, I'll cover you. Much obliged. Then let us report to our client and officially accept his request. His name is Zemoweni, and he works at Gibraltar, the restaurant by the beach. I'll need a moment to close up shop, so would you go ahead and wait for me? You needn't wait for me. Go on ahead and introduce yourself to Zemowani at Zigob. And I'm supposed to know this person. Ah, Pamika, welcome! Good evening, Zemowini. I am pleased to say that we are ready to undertake your commission. Elita here will be binding your books, and my intuition tells me that none will be better suited to the endeavour. That's excellent news. The more the merrier. But where are my manners? My name is Zemowini. I'm relatively new to Tuliole, but I've been earning my keep as a waiter here since I arrived. Zebrov Tai is a haven for travellers from every region. If there's one thing I've learned in my short time here, it's that everyone's got a story to tell. From myths and legends to folk tales and anecdotes, our patrons share their nigh endless supply of unique and fascinating tales. Inevitably, one regular or another will badger me into retelling an old favourite, so I try to memorise as many stories as are told. But memory has its limits, and I'm afraid the details from so many different narratives might eventually become jumbled and forgotten, which is why I thought to record them in a book for all to enjoy. Of course, my people pass down our traditions via the spoken word, so I neither read nor write. Pamika may be an exception among Tonawata in that respect. Zemowini will tell his stories, and I will transcribe his words, no different than a dictation of a letter, except perhaps a bit longer. I also thought I might study my letters whilst you're both hard at work. I'd like to be able to read the books we make after all. You should join us during our transcription, if you'd like. Hearing each story might serve as inspiration for its binding. They're fascinating stories all. I can't wait to see them as books. When would you like to begin? My schedule is relatively open right now, so I am available whenever you please. Then I'll pay your stall a visit once I've finished my shift. It shouldn't be too long now. As soon as my shift is over, I'll pay you both a visit at Pamika's stall. Until then... We will have our transcription sessions here. I have ready plenty of parchment and ink, so you needn't worry about that. However, there are still a few more preparations to be made before the Zemowini's arrival, and your own business may call you elsewhere in the meantime. Stop by again when you are ready to begin. New opportunities. Pamika's quill is primed and ready. You seem eager to start, and I'll admit so am I. According to my research, will require numerous components: boards, covers, woven cords, the list goes on. Furthermore, a binding can be made from nearly anything: wood, cloth, leather. The possibilities are endless. I'll leave the particulars to you and your artistic tastes. Once you have enough materials prepared, you'll be ready to document Zemowini's tales. How goes the crafting, Elita? What you up to? Handcrafted cover components is what I need. Market board. Leather. Piece of good number. ARC and stuff in it. Let's grab 33 of those. Oh, no, I can grab 14. That's nice. There we go. Integral lumber. Very well, I'll do it. It's a crafting log. Hopefully I've got enough space for these. I think I will just eat these. The other ones use the same, so that's fine. Yeah. Let's craft the rest of these now. Yes, I'm a lazy crafter, okay? Gonna put my watch on charge because it is low power. That's me meat. 3 times 3 to go. Or down. Down. That's 6 made, so off we go. How goes the crafting, Elita? My word, I knew you were an accomplished weaver, but your craftsmanship has surpassed every expectation. The finished product will be a sight to behold. In making your first successful delivery, you begin to earn Pamika's trust. With the items Pamika needs and deliver them often to bind Zemolini's tales into captivating tomes. Now then, whenever you're ready, Zemolini, we may begin. I think I'll start with a famous tale that's been passed down across generations of Hanu Hanu. It is a tale of their benevolent god, and of the crop that would enrich their very way of life. Long, long ago, the Hanu Hanu resided in a land beyond the clouds. Though their heavenly home was frigid, their enemies were few, and they whiled away their days dancing in pale warmth of the sun. But one day, a great storm ravaged these clear blue skies. The wind and rains raged upon those lands so fiercely, it sent a pair of Hanu Hanu tumbling down to the waters below. Yet what should appear but a giant bird, as big as an island. It flew up and caught the Hanu Hanu upon its back. The kindly bird sailed upon the winds, over the great blue ocean, until finally it came to a land kissed by the dawn, the land we call Tural. The couple was grateful to stand on solid ground again, but their journey had exhausted them, and their energies were spent. They searched high and low for something to fill their empty bellies, and it was there they found the great bird once again, feasting upon verdant reeds. The Hanu Hanu followed suit. One taste of the sweet reeds filled them with vigor, and their feathers began to glisten with every color of the rainbow. It was then that the couple knew this great bird to be the god Kikiha. They tended the reeds in his honor, and their brood would grow and prosper, becoming the Hanu Hanu we know today. What do you think so far, Elita? Have you any inspiration for a suitable cover? Splendid, splendid. I suspect Zemolini will have a few more Hanu Hanu stories to tell before we conclude here. We ought to construct our cover in the meantime. With your painstakingly prepared materials, you produce a cover befitting Zemolini's first batch of tales. You carefully bind Pamika's pages into the fold, and the tome is complete. It's a real book. I may not be able to read it yet, but just looking at it fills me with joy. Books are remarkable things indeed. Stories told in speech alone will disappear with their tellers, but what is written is promised to survive. But that's my own romanticism shown through. More importantly, I greatly enjoyed your storytelling, Zemolini. About the Hanu Hanu who once lived above the clouds. A people called the Vanu Vanu, you say? From your description, they do sound like they might share common roots with Tural's Hanu Hanu. If you enjoyed those tales, I know plenty more like them. For example, the ones I heard the other day from my Pelu Pelu patron were fascinating. There's a people with a talent for words. I'll have to practice ahead of time if I'm to do them any justice. Please do. We'll be happy to hear them whenever you feel ready. And so ends our first job. You were a pleasure to work with, Elita, and I have a feeling you'll continue to impress. Pamek is pleased with your efforts. She now considers you a cover collaborator. Pameka is prepared for a Pelu Pelu yarn. Greetings, Elita. If you're ready to proceed with our next cover, I have an idea I'd like to share. Zemaweni said he had Pelu Pelu tales to tell us next, correct? In which case, I thought using materials sourced from Pelu Pelu's ancestral home of Urupuka might give our cover an authentic touch. A book about any given people should look at home amongst them, or so I think. Then it's settled. I trust you'll know just what local materials we need. We require local materials from Urupaka for our book of Pelu Pelu tales. Did you find anything? Pelu Pelu cover components. Crocodile leather. Fiber lumber. a teeny guy over here. There we go, give me a bit more assistance. 2 more to go. All done. We'll require local details from Urupaka for a book of Pelipelli tales. Did you find anything? Oh, your elegant use of snow cotton has not gone unnoticed. With it, your cover is bound to radiate Pelipelli spirit. Today I'd like to share a few stories about the Pelipelli. These days we know them to be avid travellers and seekers of profit, but this was not always so. Long before this nation was founded, the Pelipelli were reclusive folk who rarely left the solitude of Urupaka. Now, in one solitary village, there lived a Pelipelli named Sibley. The poor lad was sickly and short of stature, even compared to his diminutive fellows. With such a frail constitution, Sibley could neither work in the fields nor tend to the alpacas. But the village loved him even so, and he loved them in turn. They nursed him back to health in times of need, and offered tasks that would not fatigue him. He only wished he could better serve them. Yet kindness cannot solve all ills, and in the year of the cold summer, crops withered upon the mountains of Urupaka. The Pelipelli began to starve. They ate what remained of their food. They ate all their frail livestock. Sibley knew that they had reached their limits and snuck quietly from the village. With one less mouth to feed, his people would have more to eat. Finally, he had found a way to help. His mind made up, the poor pillow made for the sacred mount, that he might fade from this world in its silence. As he began to climb, a spirit appeared and forbade him to go any further. Sibley begged the spirit to let him pass, and spoke about his village. The spirit was moved by the lad's fervent resolve, and bestowed unto him a handful of leaves. "Return to your village," it said. "Your people must drink of these leaves." Sibley obeyed, and steeped the leaves in hot water. When his people drank, their hunger miraculously faded. No pillows succumbed to famine, and they all lived to see the coming year. So it was that the Pillow first encountered Matty T. Another impeccable book. Thank you, both of you. What a peculiar story. Of course, there's no telling whether it actually happened, but Matty Tea is rich in nutrients, and I've heard it's effective in relieving hunger as well. To me, the moral seems to lie in the virtue of caring for one another. That even in times of great difficulty, keeping others in your heart can lead to unexpected solutions. Well, I'd better be off. I still have some reading and writing practice to do. But next time, I think I'll share some tales of our Moblin customers. See you then. Well, you heard the man. It seems we'll be in for plenty of entertainment yet. Keep your tools sharp. We have another project on our hands before we know it. Pamika is delighted with your efforts. She now considers you a beneficial binder. Pamika has Moblins on the mind. Old Town Roads. Ready for more work? I was just thinking about the wonderful job you did with the Pillow tome. Not only did locally sourced materials enhance the binding's quality from without, it served as an immersive preview of the myths within, and I intend to have us continue with this trend. With Moblin Tales next on the agenda, we want to use materials from Kozamauka. Of course, the Hanu also make a home in that region, so take care to differentiate between their cultures. A tradeswoman of your discernment should have little difficulty, I'm sure. Let me know when you prepared the components. If we're to craft a suitable Moblin cover, we'll require materials that capture the spirit of Kozamauka. Moblin cover components. Rex leather. Measurement. And ginseng lumber. See how the first one goes. One more. Boop. Rainbow Claw! Rainbow Claw, let's go! There we go. Another 6. If we were to craft a suitable modeling cover, we require materials that capture the spirit of Cosmet Uka. There we go. Yeah, that's fine. Why, Elita, you've outdone yourself. Ginseng wood's an exquisite choice. I feel more eager than ever to start transcribing. As promised, tonight I bring a number of tales from the Moblins. Theirs is a unique culture, as varied as it is peculiar. Forgive me for interrupting, Zemaweni, but won't you be seated? Oh, pardon me. I meant to say something earlier, but at the restaurant we usually recite our stories while standing. Is that so? Perfectly fine, of course. Just as long as you are comfortable. When I say the word moblin, what do you paint in your mind's eye? A mask, a pack, and perhaps most notably a pot. Once upon a time, a group of moblins grew tired of wandering the countryside. They wanted a place to call home, and so they settled down in caves beneath the earth. They scavenged for what they needed, and packed their necessities into large clay pots. Their new home was happy, and their pots were plentiful. Too plentiful. Soon their caves grew cramped and narrow. They took up their picks and dug deeper, hoping to expand their domain. And expand they did. Theirs would become one of the largest underground cities of its time. Yet their prosperity would be short-lived. The moblins dug their tunnels so deep and so far, they unwittingly breached the gap between land and ocean. The muddy deluge devoured their city. Even their own masks turned against them, filling with water and threatening to suffocate them. In a desperate bid to escape with their lives, the moblins threw themselves into their pots and prayed they might see the coming dawn. The pots withstood the terrible tides, and once the moblins clawed their way to solid ground, they swore never again to live beneath it. So it was that they built a new village in the jungle, fashioning their houses and workshops after the pots that saved both their lives and prized possessions. As for the city lost beneath the earth, though its location has long been forgotten, they say it slumbers in some remote corner of Tural, the sunken city of Movelopolis. Incredible. I feel it fits the image of the story perfectly. The desire for a safe and comfortable home resonated with me. A relatable sentiment indeed. It is in our very nature to seek out safety and comfort after all. Many old Turali stories tell of how our peoples first came upon their current homes. The Hanu Hanu tale I shared previously was much the same. My family loves sharing those sort of tales. What about yours, Pamika? I was born and raised in Tuliolao, so I've never given my ancestry much consideration. I never thought to ask. How many stories have I failed to hear, and about my own ancestors no less? It seems I have my own digging to do. If there are untold tales out there, then I wish to know about them. And I would love to hear them, or even read them perhaps. I've grown more confident in my letters these days, so I'm keen to practice with more stories. I hope you find what you're looking for. Pamika's overjoyed with your efforts. She now considers you a talented talebinder. New quest continues. Story of Epistles by Pamika is now available. Upon its completion, the Worm Rickshaw deliveries list for Pamika will be updated. Pamika's determined expression suggests she has a plan. After hearing Zemawani's talk of ancestral tales, I can't help but wonder what my own family may have preserved from generations past. I've nearly finished my work for today, so I'll close up shop and go speak with my parents. They should be able to point me in the right direction, even if it requires an excursion beyond the city limits. Should it come to that, your company would be much appreciated. I rarely leave the city, you see. Thank you. I'll plan to meet you at Wabia Plaza once my family chat is finished. Once I close up shop, I'll see what I can glean from my parents. I'll meet you at Wabia Plaza as soon as I'm done. Apologies for the wait. My parents were happy to share what they knew about my ancestors. They said our family came to Tuliolo when the city was founded, so around my great-grandfather's time. We originally hailed from Zactoral, though beyond that neither of my parents could say. I wondered if I might find some clues of my mementos buried in the family storehouse, and as luck would have it, I chanced upon a mysterious stone tablet inscribed with glyphs. Judging by its age, it may well have belonged to my great-grandfather himself. We know he was employed as a palace attendant, but he never divulged more of his work than that. Do the glyphs resemble those of the Tuliolo saga? They do seem to be an example of Yokhoi pictorial storytelling, just like the pillars on Mara's measure, although I believe the Tuliolo saga was illustrated more to Mamold jazz tastes. Why don't we pay the Yokhoi villager then? Perhaps someone will be kind enough to translate the tablet for us. Would you accompany me to Warlord's Echo, Elita? Of course. Wonderful. Then let's be off. So, this is where the Yokhoi live. Already I see glyphs carved in the same manner as my tablet. I believe we're on the right track. Let's have a look around, see if we can find someone willing to help us. I'll let you take the lead. You have far more practice in communicating with the Yokhoi than I do, after all. Hameka is now accompanying you. Keep her at your side in order to proceed with quest objectives. I've heard that some among the Yokhoi prefer to use their native tongue, but I was assured that the ones here will be happy to use Turali. Some may even be confident with Turali script. There goes my vocals again.
Your ancestor's tablet. I could only spare a moment, but I'm glad to oblige. Relatively new, dated just 80 years past. The bearer of the stone is a retainer of the Dawn Servant, and thus must be accommodated as a guest. A residential permit, it would seem. In those days, the scars of war were still fresh. One could not travel as freely as today, so the tablet may have been a necessary precaution. Your stone tablet appears to be writ of temporary residence, though I can't speak to the full implications at the time. My apologies. All this way for a tablet? How very quaint. Fine, hand it over. From Tuliula, yes. Well, let's skip the obvious parts. Here we have a creation of a new alphabet by a travelling man, a learner of Trali cultures. Makes little sense to me, but that's what it says. The owner of your tablet was apparently a man who sought to create a new alphabet. Are we finished here? I'm busy.
Say this is where Valley Gamada was sealed. The tales these walls could tell of the sky rune. But every building has a story to tell if you think about it. Take ancient ruins for example. Scholars have spent centuries piecing together the stories of ancient civilizations from beneath the rubble. Even without the written word, we can still weave a tangible history, though I simply can't imagine a world without writing.
Read something? Of course. But do keep in mind I'm in dire need of a nap. Heh, looks like the original owner of this tablet shared your keen interest in our glyphs. He came here to hold council with our stonemasons. Oh, Yokoi learned to write, but they are experts who etch our stories into stone. As far as what our guests learned from the stonemasons, I couldn't say. Too sleepy.
Now to piece together the full story, my great-grandfather received permission to live among the Yokoi in his capacity as a Dawn Servant's retainer. He was travelling across the continent of Tural in order to create a new alphabet, and he expressed eager interest in the Yokoi's glyphs. Since the tablet itself is relatively new, perhaps we can still find the stonemason who spoke with my great-grandfather 80 years ago. Shall we go and see?
Your tablet's keeper had business with our stonemasons. As for the rest, maybe you can ask someone else.
I've heard that some among the Yokoi prefer to use a native tongue, but I was assured that ones here will be happy to use Turali. Some may be even competent with Turali script, though I'm sure their glyphic traditions take precedent. I believe that's just exactly what I've seen before. Yep. Let's go! Ah, there we go.
Why, yes, I have served as a stonemason these 80 years. How can I help you? Yes, I remember. Not long after Tuliola's finding, a man bearing this tablet came to stay with us.
So, my great-grandfather really did come here to study Hawkeye Goose, yes? Do you remember why?
He was developing a new alphabet, as I recall, one to transcribe the Turali we speak today. Back then, Galol Jaja had only just succeeded in creating a united Tuliolo, peoples from diverse nations amassed at the capital, and the ensuing linguistic misunderstandings caused little amount of trouble. As your great-grandfather told it, when the common language of Turali was adopted, he proposed that a new alphabet be created to accompany it, and that the Dawn Servant turned him down in favor of adapting foreign characters. Not only that, but the Dawn Servant then ordered him on a journey of Tural, upon which he was to study the continent's myriad cultures. After touring a number of communities, he stopped here to understand our ways. What he wished to learn wasn't simply how to read our glyphs. He asked tirelessly about our intentions when shaping the stone, how we decide our designs, and each step in the process of sculpting. Then one day your great-grandfather turned to us and said he finally understood the Dawn Servant's reasons for rejecting his proposal. Soon after he returned to Tuliala, full of new confidence.
I had no idea my great-grandfather had such direct dealings with Gulul Jaja. But I believe I understand why they both concluded that a new alphabet wasn't necessary.
Is that so? Then tell me, child, why do you think that is?
Turali language is a language that exists solely for the purpose of communication. It has no cultural connection to any one of Tural's peoples. But a new alphabet would have been a communal creation, a new piece of Turali culture that might have had the power to override others. Borrowing the following Eorzean alphabet allows Turali to remain a borrowed language, a language of convenience. By refusing to establish Turali as a language created by and for all Turali people, the Dawn Servant sought to protect their cultural diversity. That's why I think he rejected the proposal. After my great-grandfather travelled the land and arrived here to see your glyphs, he must have finally realised the full significance of this alphabet, and the beauty we might stand to lose because of it. This tablet must have meant a great deal to him.
It seems you too now carry on your great-grandfather's discovery and his story.
You're right. My great-grandfather's story, a story of my people. I must pen this tale right away, Elita. Might I ask you to bind it for me? Of course, leave it to me.
Your books are far too small and unwieldy for us, but I'm curious to see what you create.
I want this book to represent the significance of my great-grandfather's connection to the Yokoi culture, so binding it with local stone would be preferable.
You'll find plenty of that right here. Take as much as you need.
Thank you, that means a lot to me. I never travel without pen and paper, but this time I even brought my portable desk, in case my search for stories prove fruitful. If you could prepare the binding while I write, I'd be much obliged. I want this binding to properly symbolize my great-grandfather's bond with the Yokoi. Take all the time you need and return to me when your work is done.
I've seen books in my time, but not any bound in stone. We have plenty here, so help yourself to what you need.
An organized selection of Urupaka stones and other resources commonly used by the Yokoi.
Magnificent craftsmanship. Your use of the stone is masterful, even to my eyes.
I want this binding to properly symbolize my great-grandfather's bond with the Yokoi. Take all the time you need and return to me when your work is done. A durable book cover fashioned in Yokoi stone. A written account of my own forebear's story. A precious book indeed. I also included text about the Yokoi, though using prose to depict your people felt somehow inapposite. Thus I also included illustrations, clumsy though my hand might be, pictures of the stone monuments and pillars, things my great-grandfather must have seen.
I see. In your own way, you honor how we Yokoi tell our stories with images. That is a very kind gesture.
The written word cannot express all things. This is my great-grandfather's lesson. You have been most gracious with your help. Thank you. I return to Tuliyola with a lighter, prouder heart.
Farewell. I didn't anticipate the events of 80 years ago, would one day contribute to the renewal of cultural exchange. But this must have been precisely what Galul Ja envisioned for Tuliola's future.
Off we go to Tuliola. 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 My great-grandfather's story is now a part of my own. I would say our trip was well worth it. I think I'll lend Zemoweni the book we made, since he expressed an interest in practicing his skills on new tales. Besides, I think the illustration might make for an easier reading experience. It was his petition that started this whole project after all. I do hope he enjoys it. And I owe you my deepest thanks, Elita. Not only were you kind enough to accompany me to Warla's Echo, but you gave me perhaps your most stunning cover yet. Now it's back to work for me, unless Zemawani's next appointment approaches. I wish you pleasant crafting. Let's go to Charlie Hamlet. Is there anything I can get with scripts? Purple scripts. Okay. Got gear. All those. That's orange scripts. Material. Now we can continue with the quest. My controller's getting low on power. Let's go to the well. future players. Reaching for the sky, Hanukkah is eagerly awaiting her next commission. Elita! Just the person I wanted to see! Our journey to Warlord's Echo gave us countless insights, don't you think? Into my own family history, the Dawn Servant's wish for his nation, and the myriad ways by which our diverse peoples tell their stories. I feel readier than ever to transcribe more tales for Zemoweni. Well, you two look happier than a pair of Ronique in the sun. Has something happened? Zemoweni, impeccable timing. I'm back from my journey of ancestral discovery and bring with me a freshly penned tome of family tales. Might I persuade you to read it? It would be my honour. No better way to put my reading skills to use. I'd also like to make improvements upon my own writing, but I suspect it will take some time. You can. Speaking of, a Mammal Jack customer came by the other day and entertained us with some wonderful stories. Perhaps we could compile them in a book. Of course, we'll begin our preparations straight away. To cover our Mammal Jatto, we ought to include materials from Yaktel. In the meantime, I'll clean my pens and ready our parchment. For this next tome, we'll need materials of the Yaktel, preferably from the Jotiki heartland. Don't worry about me, I got Panika's book to keep me occupied, while you make your preparations. The press log. Yeah, 15 should do fine. Next. I'm hoping to something. And the other thing was Riam leather. Crafting log. Cool. Right, there we go, we got 6 of those. To here. For this next one, we will need materials from the Ectel, preferably from the Draconia herbal. Got to see what the azure for the Ectel and 90s could pose with nano geometry. What detail you have achieved in your craftsmanship! Forgive me for saying so, but your treatment of the intense Yactal materials is the most impressive I've seen thus far. Bravo! This tale was told to me by a Mamalja of the Daporo clan. The Daporo have long been known for their skill as mounted warriors, but their mounts were not only meant for warfare. This is an age-old story passed down through generations and generations. There once lived a Daporo youth, bound by the creed of his people, to seek a land blessed by sunlight. For this elusive paradise, they searched endlessly, fought endlessly. Compared to his warrior friends, however, the youth was ill-suited for battle. He and his weaver were entrusted not with weapons, but a cart with which to deliver parcels. Would that I could ride a winged mount, the youth thought. Upon it, he could reach the thick canopy of the forest, and gaze upon the splendor of the sun. Day after day he wandered the forest, hoping to tame a flying beast of his own. Yet his frail physique proved a burden, and again he was stolen from the spirited creatures, until his comrades laughed to see his fruitless, dogged attempts. Still, the youth was determined, and after countless failures, he gained mastery over a beast known as the Rilmuzako. He became the first of his people to sit astride a winged creature. Right away, the youth went to his aging parents and taught them how he had achieved this feat. Then, leaping upon Rilmuzaxel, he took to the skies higher and higher. He flew towards the canopy until finally he disappeared. He never returned home again, but it is said he found the land of sunlight his people searched for. The techniques he left would be learned by all the Daporo, and to this day it's not uncommon to see riders upon winged mounts, basking in the sunlight upon the winds. What an alluring azure hue, like the depths of a cenote untouched by sunlight, or the deep blue sky that the Dawntrail youth yearned for, a complicated and beautiful colour. What sort of impression did you get from the story, Elita? I wonder if he found what he was looking for. Given the volatile setting of wartime, he might have been struck down by an enemy, or simply lost among the trees. But that's hardly the ending I'd like to imagine. We may never be able to return to the past and discover the truth for ourselves, but we can carry our feelings about them into a future they help create. Writing a book of tales does just that, I think. It entrusts our hopes and feelings to those who follow after.
In other words, if no one carries on those hopes and feelings, they might be lost forever. The stories that I've told you and you've penned, they are each filled with the history and aspirations of their respective peoples. But my people have not a single written record. Our oral tradition is utterly unknown to those outside our community. Were we to vanish one day, we would leave not a trace of our existence behind. Our stories would...
Zemoweni.
Pardon me, my shift starts soon. I should be off. Thank you for the lovely book.
Pamika is thrilled by your effort. She now considers you a binding authority. New quest continuance now available. Level 100. Do those things I can be sneaky. So if I get 5 of those, I can... Concern is writ plain on Panica's face, a place in the sun. Oh, Elita, Zemowini seemed troubled after our last session, didn't he? He hasn't said a word about his next commission, and I fear he may have given up on our bookmaking endeavour. At first he seemed so excited about sharing the stories he heard at Draconia. I wonder how his recitations there differ from our transcription sessions. Care to take a walk with me, Elita? I think I should like to see Zemowini's performance for myself. Very good. To Draconia with us. I'd be halfway to Draconia by now if I didn't close the stall. You go on ahead and see what Zemowini's up to. I'll meet you there shortly. Pamica, Elita, here for a drink perhaps? Well, that does sound splendid. We were actually hoping to hear one of your famous recitations. Ah, then I'm afraid your timing's rather unfortunate. We usually wait until our seats are filled before having a tale, so not for some time yet. Oh, that's a shame. Then what about your next commission? As soon as we know what sort of tales you plan to tell, Elita can begin to assemble the necessary materials for your new tome's binding. About that. If you have no further tales you wish to share, far be it for me to insist. Don't worry, I still have plenty to tell. The thing is, when I learned of your discoveries, I decided I wanted our next story to be something from my home. Our tales are completely unknown to outsiders. Should our oral tradition ever reach its end, our hopes and history would vanish with it, which is why I would preserve what I can with our written record. That sounds like a wonderful idea, and yet you still seem conflicted. My people neither read nor write. Would creating a written book of their stories truly be understanding and honouring their legacy? When you put it that way, how might we properly convey the stories of a people unassociated with the written word? Take a page from your great-grandfather's book, Pamica. And take a page we shall. I only just finished illustrating a book about the yokoi. You don't need to know our written alphabet to read a story from illustrations. But we needn't stop there. What if we incorporated other materials into the book as well? Bird feathers and flowers, things that harken to the setting and appeal to all the senses. We need to devise a way to prepare the materials we choose, but once we do, our readers will be able to immerse themselves in the story without reliance on the written word. A book that appeals to the senses. I think that might work. I happen to have a few things you can use for the cover, and I can fetch more if you give me a moment. Then let us all reconvene back at my stall. Once you have the components for a cover, deliver them to me and we'll hear Zemowini's tale. Our next book will be about my people, so I'd like the cover to incorporate materials from my homeland. If you run out, I have plenty extra. This time we'll be needing a binding for a tome that will awe its reader's senses. Do you have something ready? A batch of leaves, feathers, and other natural occurring materials from such raw, handpicked by Zemowani. Try that again. Alright, let's see. I guess I'm gonna have to do this the old-fashioned way. Activation. Tricky one. That one. Situation. Make it, hopefully. Just... Oh, that was tricky. You've readied my components. Then let's speak to Pamika and I'll begin my tale. This time we need binding for a tome that will awe its reader's senses. Do you have something ready? An assemblage of components and props reminiscent of Zactoral. I'm speechless, Elita. These will make our finest cover yet. Of that I have no doubt. Now, let us hear Zemowini's story. What an amazing tome you've made. Careful script, an illustration. Pieces of the natural world as they feature in my story. Reading this will be an unforgettable experience for anyone. I can't wait to take this home and show my family. I'm sure they'll be proud to see our stories reflected in such art. Can I come and hear you read it at Ziggurat High? Of course, that was my intention from the very start. I feel more confident than ever in my letters, so I plan to read aloud from this gorgeous tome as opposed to reciting a memorization. In fact, I'd say our evening regulars will be flooding into Ziggurat High soon enough. If you'd like, I can save a table for you. That would be splendid, Zemowini. We'll be right behind you. I can't wait to see what Ziggurat High's customers think of Zemowini's stories. Go on ahead, I'll catch up shortly. You're just in time. I've saved some room for you and Pamika over there. Relax and enjoy the show. You hear that? People are telling all sorts of tales around us. A haven for storytellers indeed. Many here are regulars, but everyone is welcome with fresh faces, just so long as you're hungry for new stories. Hey lad, tell us a story, would you? A new one if you've got it. Right away. I got just the thing for you, and I think you'll all enjoy it. Tonight, I would like to share something personal with you all. Some of you may know that I come from a tradition of oral storytelling, and my people rely not upon the written word. However, should our voices no longer echo in future generations, I fear our very history runs the risk of extinction. Thus did I commission the scrivener Pamika and her travelling artisan Elita with the creation of a book. This is the story of my people. May it warm your heart like the sun upon the plains. 1,000 dawns ago, in the eastern reaches of Zactoral, our ancestors lived upon a bountiful land, The soil was rich, and the wind carried with it seeds that flourished into healthy crops. But one summer a great serpent of cloud coiled above our lands. Beneath its swollen body fell the rain, so endless as it drowned our crops and threatened to starve our people. "We must call for the sun," someone cried. So our people lifted their prayers to the sky, that they might summon the mighty light. But the serpent heard their voices with anger, lashing out with its tail, driving an ever greater deluge down upon them. With their fields turned to rivers, our people departed in search of the sun. Day after day they walked and walked, bearing their hunger and thirst, until they could no longer. It was then they came upon a solitary cactus. "Chasers of the sun, take me with you. I too seek brighter lands. For your hunger and thirst I offer my fruit. In return sow my seeds upon your path to yield." Our people sowed the seeds, and from them grew more and more cacti, each bearing fruit that gifted them strength. For 1,000 nights they pressed onward, westward, planting the cacti and partaking of their fruit. Finally they reached a wide, wide land of sunlight. The cacti grew strong and plentiful beneath the golden rays, and spoke to our people once more. "You have our gratitude, children of man. This is the land we long dreamed of. Today we revel in this radiant paradise. Tomorrow we shall give up our voices, and live to nourish your progeny forevermore." So it was that the cacti spoke the tongue of man no more. Yet our people would continue to care for them, and honor them as irreplaceable companions. It was there, alongside the bright sun and thriving cacti, that our people founded a village, and lived in peace and comfort for 1,000 tomorrows to come. In our native tongue, Tonawata means sun chaser, but there is no one reason as to why our people are so named. The story you just heard is but one explanation, a tale passed down through generations in my village. But ask another Tonawata, and you will hear another story. I am not here to insist that ours is the definitive tale, but rather to say that in a small corner of this vast continent there exists a people who believe it to be true. It is my hope that our stories are remembered by many, and our words carried forward into the future. Thank you. What did you think? That's how we usually do our recitations. Whoever has a story to tell stands up there and regales the room. I caught Pamik on her way out. Seems she can't leave her stall unattended for long, but I assume she's waiting for you there. Thank you for everything, Elita. I'm sure Pamika's waiting for you back at her stall. Finally, the end to the quest. Zemoweni's storytelling prowess is awe-inspiring, isn't it? He set the scene without flaw. I truly felt as though I was journeying along with those cacti. Words are so peculiar, aren't they? When spoken from the soul, they can convey meaning that extends far beyond their written worth. My experiences with you and Zemoweni has opened my eyes to the true duty of a scrivener. Going forward, I hope to capture what I hear with more sensitivity and deeper understanding. It's not a matter of simply writing down words. It's about preserving the spirit with which they are spoken. Just like we did with our books. My abilities have their limits, however, so for the tales I cannot bind alone, I hope I can count on you, Elita. completed all of Pamika's tasks. Pamika has gained newfound appreciation for her craft, and she could not be happier with your efforts. She now considers you a connoisseur of covers. There are doubtless others in Waramakechi who would welcome the aid of an able artisan. Speak with other merchants and see how you can help. With Zemoleni's commissions concluded, perhaps I should take a brief sabbatical to travel beyond the city walls. I wish to follow in my great-grandfather's footsteps, to broaden my cultural horizons and learn the countless stories our forebears have left behind. Of course, it would be remiss of me to limit my journey to Toral. I hear the city-state of Charlene is a veritable paradise of written knowledge. What I wouldn't give to walk amongst its vast archives. One, two, three, four. 4 more to go, but they are for another time. Thank you all for watching. Take care, my friends. Love you all.